I'm leaving to go to a networking event. Now, I don't like networking events because they're like being in the cafeteria all over again. And believe it or not, I'm a little bit more introverted than I am extroverted. I know you don't believe it, but it's true. I don't like walking in a room full of people I don't know. And these weren't just going to be any people. These were going to be the people in my craft and in my profession. And they were going to be the people who had done great, big things. They were the bright, shiny people who had reached a different level than me. They were at the next part of the fairy tale, the big stages, and not just the people, but the agents, and who could just one look could change your life forever. And I'm thinking, this is my chance. This is my moment to get noticed, to maybe become her. So, of course, I had to get an outfit that was special. I couldn't wear some boring pants like these. So me and Chardonnay get on the internet, and we purchased a pair of bright silver sequined palazzo pants. That's right. Sequins, top to bottom, all over, all around. And I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of sequins. Yeah, I get it, but I'm just going to say this. If you're going to make them in my size, you're not going to be judging me for wearing them. So I put them on, I tried them on. They fit just perfectly. I love them. Well, they only came halfway up my butt, but no, that's okay. They were low rise. So I decided I didn't want to mess them up, that I was going to, and not drive in the pants to the ballroom, that I was going to wait, and I was going to change in the bathroom outside that ballroom. And so I picked a remote little bathroom. I said, I'm going to put on these pants, and there's not really anybody in there, so they were already inside the event. I was like, this is great. I put them on. I'm like in front of the mirror singing my theme song. You know, you're going to hear me roar. We have a theme song. You know, you do too. So anyway, so I'm ready to take a step out of that bathroom and into my destiny when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear this noise. It is like a I thought maybe it was the pipes. And I looked under and I didn't see any feet and I didn't hear it again. So I took another step. Sure enough. Now, you're probably already figuring it out, but I think I was in denial. But I finally took one more step, and sure enough, the pieces all started to fit. And I finally realized where that noise was coming from. It was coming from my thighs. Every step I was taking, and the thighs are like rubbing together. And those sequins, what are they made of? Metal, ceramic, plastic, I don't know. But every step I'm taking, they're gnashing and they're gnawing, and they're engaged in mortal combat. It sounded like I was chewing on glass. Like I was walking on gravel. You see, there were two words I had failed to take into consideration when purchasing these pants. Chub rub. Oh, did I hear you say you do not know what that is? Well, Theater Barbie, I will tell you what that is. It's when your thighs rub together when you walk. It's a thing. It'll cause a rash. It hurts. They even make a salve for it. It is so bad, we got a club. I'm the president. It's called the Chub Rub Club. You saw the t-shirts. Chub Rub Club, where thigh gap is for losers. And all you millennials or half chubbers, we got a sorority we started for you. Shirts are out there too. It's called Thigh Gapagona. You're welcome. If it's really bad, though, you got to join Chub Rubbers Anonymous. My name is Kelly Swanson. It's been 30 days since my last rash. My rock bottom happened on Sunday morning in church. I wore corduroys. They asked me to sing a solo. The friction caused sparks. They had to put me out in a baptismal pole. Give her a token, Frank. So I'm standing in this bathroom. I'm like, what am I going to do? I got nothing to change into except my yoga pants that I wore over here that I wear everywhere, except yoga. And I'm thinking, well, Kelly, I'm very resourceful. I said, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to wear the pants. You're just going to get in the back of the room. You won't even go all the way in. You'll just kind of stand inside against that back wall, and you'll be fine. Let people pass you. Stay there all night if you have to. Just don't move. So next thing you know, I'm standing there in the doorway of this ballroom, and I'm looking out. There's hundreds of people in there, fancy, pretty, commercial people, and they're all in khaki and floral. Because I didn't get the memo that said theme was Hawaiian tropic. Luau. And I'm standing in that doorway looking like Elvis. The later years. And there was a chair. It was only like 4 or 5 feet in the back. I said, Kelly, this is what you're going to do. You're just going to get to that chair. And you're going to sit down, and it'll be fine. You can do this. You take your time. It's worth it. Just, it's only 4 or 5 feet. But y'all, that's a long 4 or 5 feet when you got to get there without your thighs touching. And look natural. But I did it. And I finally made it to that chair. And y'all, I was exhausted. And I'm sweating in places you ain't supposed to sweat. And I'm nervous. Hey, did you know there's a name for that sweat that gathers up under the girls? It's called Mountain Dew. I saw it on Wikipedia. So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay, everything's fine. You made it. I'd achieved my mission. I'm there just in time to see the sign on the table that said reserved. For staff. And little Miss Thang is tapping me on the shoulder, and she's like, oh, sweetie pie, we got a table for guests right up front. Of course you do. Y'all, it's like 4 or 5 or more feet. And I got to walk down a middle walkway, and all these important people are sitting there on both sides, and I got to walk up there with my thighs sounded like I'm rolling over kitten tails. And I'm going to be honest, I sat there and I had a moment. And that voice inside my head that's been there for so long said, get out of here. Run. No, walk, run. You don't fit. You don't belong. these aren't your people. This dream is not for you. And yeah, your butt does look big in those pants. And then there was out of nowhere this other voice coming undoubtedly from that fur-trimmed settee in the sky. And she said, no, 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 no. Is that how you're going to play this? You're going to write a story that says you failed before you've even started? No. You don't fit the fairy tale. You're not supposed to, because it's not yours and it's not real. Don't doubt the Spirit that dwells inside of you. You have got to stop focusing on what isn't. Or baby doll, you are going to miss what is. And that walkway you're going to go down, you're not going down it alone. These people, they are cheering you. They are supporting you. And some of them see themselves in you. And they're in front of their own walkway. And some of them are a step down or halfway down, or they're too afraid to even come in the room. So you're going to go down that walk, and you got to carry them. You got to show them what a real fairy tale looks like. You got to show them what a princess looks like. Don't wait to feel brave. You choose it. Now put your big girl panties on and smile, because this is going to be great. And I took a deep breath, and I called up every ounce of courage I did not feel but was choosing. And I said, thighs, do your thing. And I began to march. I marched with emphasis. I marched with power. I marched in slow motion. Sequins were jumping ship left and right. I was stopping at every table. I was passing out cards. People would be like, where's that noise coming from? I said, it's coming from my thighs. Apparently down there, the party's already started. I was the first one out there on that dance floor that night, and I danced for everything I was worth. And there were barely any sequins left on my thighs anymore, but I danced, and people started joining around me. And I thought they were going to make fun, but they weren't. They were laughing and high-fiving because I'm telling them all about how I'm the chub rub queen of Garnett County. And they're sharing their stories, and he's got chub rub, and so does she. And he says one of his legs is longer than the other, and he's always felt self-conscious about it. And everybody's sharing. These important people, as it turns out, have insecurities just like me. And we're dancing in this delicious soup of pink zebras. And at some point, I'm dancing, but I'm not really dancing anymore, because at some point I have begun to fly. so far high above everybody. And I'm flying so high I can barely see all of them anymore because I'm up here. And up here I begin to get closer to my purpose. And up here I find her, who she is, who she will be, and who she always was. And up here I realized, this is victory. It's up here. It's when we have the courage to change our story. That victory isn't in what he says, it's in what I say. It's not in what he sees, it's in what I see. It's not in what they see, it's in what I see. That what they think is irrelevant to my story. That the best revenge is to edit the pig out of your story. Don't give him that power. Pick up that pen. And I realized up there in that moment that payback doesn't happen at gate 31. Payback happens here when you realize the best payback is to yourself. And I was still flying when I left that event. I had all these new friends and people that wanted to book me and open doors for me, and they didn't even really know what I do. They just connected with me. And all these friends who had gathered the sequins off the floor and put it in a little baggie. Good friends like that. And I get to the doorway, and there in the doorway is an agent, one of the big ones with a snarl on his face, and he's blocking my path. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, great, here comes another pig. And I realized, you know what, there's always going to be another pig. But this time, I knew it would be different. And so I get right up to him, and he puts his hand out, and he shakes my hand. And he gives me his card, and he said, give me a call. I want to talk to you about working together. He said, and I quote, you're exactly what we're looking for. Chub rub, he said. That's hilarious. And he shuffled off. And I stood there having a moment, realizing that everything that had made me different had become the things that had made me great. Who knew? So yeah, I didn't get Thor. Big loss there, right? I got a real prince who does the right thing. I didn't get perky little Disney breasts, but it didn't stop them from putting me on TV. I didn't get chosen for the cheerleading squad, but you chose me tonight. And now I get to cheer people every day of my job. And I didn't get to castle, which is fine, because y'all, I don't have the energy to clean it anyway. In fact, I didn't turn out to be the little princess I wished for in Miss Imogene's third grade class. But I sure as hell got my happily ever after.